You also need to understand your skin type in order to be able to get a good foundation base. I'll be explaining all of that more when we get into foundation application. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Tolako Richards here. If you're a new subscriber, you're welcome, and if you're an old or returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. Today's video, I'm just going to be showing you guys how I do my foundation routine, how I blend out my foundation, how I go about my skin prep, how I do my highlighting and all of that. So today's video is basically about skin work, basically. So I'm going to be taking you guys through my skin work routine or my foundation routine. Yeah, I've said that like 3 times already. So if that's something you like to learn or just to watch how I do my foundation routine, because I believe you'll be able to learn a thing or two from this, you should keep on watching. And if you are watching and you have not subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Please hit the subscribe button and also hit the like button as well. And when you're done watching this video, please leave a comment. Yeah, so let's just jump right into the video. So when I want to start my skin prep, I make sure that my face is clean. Before you start doing makeup, always ensure you're doing your makeup on a clean face, because if you don't wash your face, you're going to be applying your makeup over like the dirt on your face, and it's going to clog your pores. So ensure that your face is well cleansed before you go into makeup application. After I already washed my face before filming this video, so I'm just going to go ahead and apply my moisturizer now. Whether you have oily skin, you have dry skin, combination skin, you need to moisturize, because your skin needs moisture, especially because you're applying a ton of stuff on your face, so your skin needs to retain that moisture. So that being said, I'm just going to go ahead now and apply my moisturizer. So once my moisturizer is applied, the next thing I go on to do is to apply my SPF. And I apply SPF mostly on days when I'm going out. Today I think I might go out to get a few things in the market, so I'm just going to apply my SPF. And if you are wondering what SPF I use Garnier sunblock SPF. It's very inexpensive. So this is the sunscreen I use. So I'm just going to take quite a bit of that and just apply it all over my face. So once your skincare is done, because I just did skincare, that's moisturizer, cleansing, moisturizing, and SPF. So once your skincare is done, you are done applying your skincare products, the next thing you want to do is to apply your primer. You need to prime your skin. And this, like, skin prep is so important. It might look like, oh, you're taking so much time to prep your skin. Prepping your skin is just as important as applying the makeup. Do you get? So because prepping your skin is what really determines how flawless and how blended your skin work looks like. So this is really important. I think you should note that. I'm going to be starting off with my Zaron primer. This is what it looks like. I'm going to be blending it on the outer corners of my face because I have oily skin mostly at the T-zone of my face. So I usually blend this one. This is like a silky primer. I try to blend it around my face. Then I apply a mattifying primer at my T-zones. You would understand as we go by. So I'm just going to blend that around my face. Now I'm going to go in with another primer, and this one is a mattifying primer. This is the Meron Touch Up Anti-Shine Primer. I just take a bit of this because I don't like my makeup to be too matte. So I just take a bit of this and I blend it out into like my oily areas, the places where I get a lot of oil. I just apply this. I also apply it into my brows so that when I'm drawing my brows, it will be matte and my brow pencil will be able to stick onto it very well. So you want to take your time to actually blend out your primers or whatever it is you're applying to your face before your foundation. You need to ensure that it's well blended out, because if it's not well blended out, it will just be sitting on your skin and it's going to affect your foundation from blending in properly. Just try as much as possible to nourish your skin and take care of your skin even though you're about to apply makeup, because at the end of the day, how good your skin is prepped determines how good your makeup will turn out. So yeah, so now that skin prep is done, I'm going to now apply a lip balm onto my lips. I'm using this Nivea lip balm today. I have different lip balms. I love to use lip balm, so I have different ones, but today I'm just going to be using this one. So I like to apply a lip balm because so that when I'm about to do my lips, after, you know, the lips is like the last thing I do most of the time. So when I'm about to apply that, my lips are not too dry because I've already prepped my lips. So you guys can see that prepping your skin is a whole routine on its own. This is like my skin prep routine before I now go into my foundation routine. So makeup takes a lot of time. I know you also need to understand your skin type in order to be able to get a good foundation base. I'll be explaining all of that more when we get into foundation application, but for now, let's just focus on skin prep. So the next thing I like to do is to go ahead and wet my beauty blender. I already did that. Next, I'm going to be going in, you know, I've already prepped my skin with my primer, moisturizer, SPF, and all of that. So I just use a silky primer, which is the Xyron primer, at the sides of my face, and then I use a mattifying primer, which is the Meron one. I'll write the names on the screen, and I think the price is, if I can remember. So I apply that one on the T-zone of my face, and now I'm just going to be going in with this Nuban Beauty setting powder in the shade Caramel, and I'm going to be applying this with my beauty blender. I'll be pressing this onto my skin. This step is going to keep your skin prep intact if you have oily skin. So I just press the powder to my face. Basically, you just want to make sure you blend it into your skin. If you have any setting powder at all, it doesn't have to be this one. You can always do this. And if you don't have a setting powder, I think you should get one, because setting powders are actually important in your makeup routine. But for now, if you don't have one, you can just use your powder, your face powder, your normal face powder for this purpose as well. So I try to avoid applying it like directly under my eye, because I don't want it to like dry out my eye. If you notice, I didn't even apply the mattifying primer under my eyes. I like my under eyes to remain moist, or to remain, I don't know, dewy, so that when I'm blending out my concealer there, it does not start to crease. And the last thing I like to do, this is very optional, I like to just go in with my liquid highlighter. This is the Gleam Melanin Muse highlighter. The container has really scratched off, but yeah, this is what it looks like. I'll probably put a picture of a newer one for you guys. So anyway, I just take a bit of that and I apply it to the sides of my face. I blend it out with my fingers. I don't like to apply it to my nose, to the bridge of my nose, because, you know, I don't really want too much shine on that area of my face. I just want a natural glow on the sides of my face and on my forehead as well. This is actually very optional, because at the end of the day, there are even some foundations that give this glow, but I just like to do this just for the sake of it. Can you see the glow already? Okay, so you guys can see it. It's not going to be like this all through my foundation routine. When I blend my foundation on top, it won't even really be obvious anymore. I just like the way it gives like a shine to my makeup. Like I already said earlier, I'm not really a fan of overly matte makeup. I love a fresh bit, so that's just what I try to do. So I'm just using my fingers to ensure that it's well blended in. So now that that is blended out, now is the time for me to apply my foundation. And you guys, I just wanted to show you I have a new makeup purse. I know nobody asked me. I'm just really excited. I love cute makeup purses, and this one was a gift I won from Beauty Emporium. I'll put their handle on the screen. Beauty Emporium GC. So yeah, it came with some other products. So I'm just going to take my foundation now. You want to, if you have oily skin, you want to use a mattifying foundation. If you have dry skin, you want to use an hydrating or a hydrating foundation. So today I'm going to be using this Kaale Cosmetics matte poreless high definition pro coverage foundation. The name is very long, but is a mattifying foundation, and I'm using the shade mocha or mocha. So I'm going to be taking that foundation and I'm going to use my finger to place it where on the areas where I want it to be, because I have some spots around my face. So I'm just using this to blend it over those areas. Do you know that you can actually use your finger to blend out your skin products? I do it a lot of times when I'm like pressed for time. Instead of looking for brushes or looking for beauty blender, I just start using my fingers to blend out. I can use my fingers to blend out concealer. So it's actually something you can do, and it also gives a decent coverage. So I just go over it with my beauty blender to just press it in. So you guys can see that I did not apply too much foundation. That's another thing. When you pack on too much foundation at first, it ends up not being easy to blend. The trick about makeup application is just a little, start from little, you know, because a little goes a long way. And even if your foundation is not full coverage, start from little, because when you apply little, you're able to blend it out. Then you can keep building up the coverage instead of going in with too much foundation and then at the end of the day you have to blend for hours. So the trick to blending really is just applying little by little. As you can see, I do not apply the foundation all over my face. I'm going in sections and I'm also blending in sections. So this is like a trick. Another trick I'm going to tell you guys is don't swipe your beauty blender. Don't do this. You're going to be taking off your foundation. What you want to do is you dab your face, dab your foundation onto your face. So this is the best way to blend with a beauty blender or even with your brush. Like the best way to blend is by dabbing, and do the same thing like over the rest of my face. And then I'll show you guys how I do my concealer application. So I'm sure you guys can still see the glow from that highlighter that I applied, even though I've applied my my foundation on top of it. Like you can still see the glow. So that's actually something I like, because I'm not really a fan of applying, like I like, you know, the skin work to look skin like, just have this natural nice glow to the face. Do you get? So like it's like a glow from within. So that's what I like to have with my makeup. So that's why I applied the liquid highlighter, but you really don't have to if you don't want to. I don't do this all the time. I just decided to do this today, and I also do this sometimes as well whenever I feel like. So now that my foundation is blended out, I'm going to be going in with my concealer right now. So today the concealers I'm going to be using are, I'll be using this Kaale Cosmetics HD concealer, skin concealer, and I'm also going to be using this Nuban Beauty in my skin concealer in the shade 043. This Kaale one is in the shade caramel. So I've mentioned this in a couple of my videos. I like to use two concealers to highlight. You can see that the Nuban one is lighter than this Kaale one. This Kaale one is quite close to my skin tone, as you can see, and then this one is like a bit lighter. So I'm going to show you guys how I use these two concealers. Now this is not compulsory. Like when you want to get a concealer, just get a concealer that's about a shade or two lighter than your skin tone and you are good to go. So if you have just one concealer, that is absolutely fine. I just prefer to do my concealer routine this way. It does not affect anything as long as you blend out properly. So I'm going to be going in with the Kaale one. I have it at the back of my hand now. My hands are washed. Ensure that your hands are washed as well before you apply makeup. Just ensure that you can reduce germs as much as possible, because your skin you're applying all these things to your skin, make sure your brushes are clean. My brush is clean. I've already applied my concealer onto it. My beauty blender is always clean. I wash my brushes, I wash my beauty blenders immediately after I use them. And I think that's because I don't do makeup all the time. But if you do makeup like every day, try and wash your brushes and your beauty blenders at least every week, at least once a week. Like, because at the end of the day, you're applying all these things to your skin and you need to ensure hygiene as much as possible. So I'm taking that Zickel one and I'm just going to start blending it from the outer corners. If you notice, I'm not blending from here down, I'm blending from here out. If I was using just one shade of concealer, I'll start from here and then bring it out. But because I'm going to be using the lighter one at the center of my eyes, I'm starting from the middle, which is here. Then I'm bringing it out. If you are the only one using your concealer, you can always use the applicator of your concealer to apply directly to your face. But if you don't know, I'm a makeup artist and I rarely even use my products on myself. I use them most times on my clients. So I use brushes to take products to the face. I don't use the applicator because I don't want to transfer germs into my products. So I take the product to the back of my palm or my mixing pan, and then I apply it with a brush to my face. I'm applying it to the bridge of my nose right now, and I'm just trying as much as possible to get a straight line. It doesn't have to be perfect because I'm still going to blend it out anyway, but at least it does not mean you should not apply the concealer all over your nose. So just try and ensure that your line is as straight as possible. So the last bit of the concealer now, I'm going to apply it to my brow bone area, just like a highlighting base for when I do my brows, because I'm still going to do my brows after my skin work. So I just like to blend a bit of that to my brow bone area. Now that that is done, I'm going to now go in with the Nuban Beauty one, which is the lighter one. And I'm just going to take a little amount of that one. I'm not using much of that one. And I'm going to apply it to the blank areas, which is the center, like the inner corner of my eyes. I'm going to apply the Nuban Beauty one to that area. So I'm starting from the inner corner and I'm taking it out and just blending it outward. Did you see that? So I also tried to create like a line here. So this just helps to kind of give your nose, or just to sculpt out your nose in a way. So you just want to, don't make it too harsh, just go a little bit with your concealer. Even if you are using just one concealer, it's also good to do this, because that way you're already sculpting out your nose even before contouring it. So that's just also something I like to do. Okay, so now that that is done, I'm going to take a little bit of that Nuban Beauty concealer, which is the lighter one, and I'm just applying it to the center of the previous one I applied earlier. I'll do the same for my nose, just a tiny bit of that. And then here as well, like I'm literally applying a tiny amount to all these areas. Okay, so now that that is all applied, I know I look very funny right now. It's allowed for you to look this way. Just make sure that you blend out properly. Blending is key. I think that's like the lesson everybody should take from this video. Blending is key. So now before I blend it out, I don't just usually go in with my beauty blender to blend it out. I like to spray my face with my setting spray before I blend it out. So if you have a setting spray, spray your face, then blend out. It really helps with the blending. It helps your product to sit in and sink into your skin properly. But if you don't have a beauty blender, just ensure that, if you don't have a setting spray, just ensure that you take your time, or you take more time to blend out. So I'm just going to get my setting spray, spray my face, and then I'll move on to blending my face. Okay guys, so if you noticed, I started out by blending out the edges of my under eye. I started out by blending out these outer corners. The same way I applied from the outer corners is the same way I'm blending out from the outer corners. So I blend the rest of my face first. And then now that I'm done blending out the rest of my face, ensure that there are no harsh lines. Like, ensure that your foundation blends into your concealer, like there's no difference or there's no line of demarcation. And then I'll now go in to blend my under eye. So this is how I blend my under eye. Like, if you don't want to have to be doing like this, if you do makeup, you understand what I'm saying. What you just need to do is take your mirror and tilt it upwards. I don't want this way to be, I don't want to do it this way so it's not looking dark. Tilt your mirror upwards, right? Okay, let me do it this way. And then just look up. So you won't need to be doing like this. Just tilt your mirror upwards and then blend. I'm just going to go over it again, like my whole face again, just to ensure that there are no harsh lines whatsoever. Another thing I would like to mention is ensure that your beauty blender is soft. The softness of your beauty blender also determines how well it blends. So all these things, make sure you are taking note of them, because they are all factors that determine how good your skin work turns out to be. So next I'm going to be going into setting my face and baking my face. So I'll get my powders now and I'll show you guys how I do that. So I'll be using my Ezekiel Cosmetics powder palette, and I'll be taking the shade, I think I'll take the shade Natural. The name of this shade is Natural, which is this one right here. Just get a powder that's the same shade as the powder the concealer you used to highlight your face. So I'm just going to do the same thing, and now I'm just pressing that powder under my eye. As you can see, this side is, I've already set this side I've not set it, so this one is still looking more dewy and this one is looking more matte. You can just use, like, this powder palette is actually really nice for personal use, so that you won't have to get too many powders. So you can just get a mini powder palette like this one, so that you'll be able to use it to set your highlights and contour without having to buy different shades of powders for that purpose. I'm basically applying this everywhere I highlighted on my face. Next, I'm now going to set the remaining parts of my face, because I applied the powder to the under eye, to basically my T-zone area where I highlighted. Now the rest of my face also needs to be set. Like, I need to set those areas as well. So I'm going to now go in with a powder that is the same shade as my skin tone. I know it's looking lighter on the camera right now, but this shade is actually my skin shade. So I'm just going to take that powder with the butt of my beauty blender and I'm just going to press it to the side of my face, and this way I'm also going to use it to kind of merge in between the light powder and the dark powder all together. Okay, so now that that is done, I'm going to go in with my setting powder now, and today I'll be using the Nuban Beauty setting powder in the shade Caramel. I'm just going to take that setting powder and apply it on all the areas where I highlighted on my face. So if you guys have any questions about what I'm doing, or like any aspect of this whole routine that you don't understand, you can definitely ask me in the comment section. Just drop your questions in the comment section. I'll be glad to answer them. So another thing I do is I just take my setting powder and I kind of allow it to sit on my under eye area, just so it can catch, because I do my, obviously I'm doing my skin routine first. So this will just help it to, number one, bake my face, and number two, it helps to catch any fallout from my eyeshadow. So now that this is done, I'm going to move on now to contouring. If you notice, I did not do cream contour. I rarely do cream contour. Like, left to me, powder contour is just fine. So I'm just going to be using the shade Cappuccino from this same palette, which is this one. This is Cappuccino. Yeah, this is Cappuccino. So I'm going to be using Cappuccino to set every area where I want to contour on my face. Your contour as well, don't go and then just apply one line of contour. No, don't be that person. Don't be that person. You need to blend out your product. Blend it upwards. So I also contour the edges of my forehead, and the reason why I do this is so that it just kind of blends in with my hairline, so that it's not too different. Like, it just gives a nice tone to your hairline as well. So I'm just applying a tiny amount to my jawline, just to give it a nice shadow and, you know, to make your face look very snatched. So once that is done, I'm going to now take a tiny amount of that product. So I'm going to be using this brush today for my nose contour, and I'm going to take a tiny amount of that product, like the smallest amount, and I'm just going to use that to contour my nose. So as you can see, I'm blending as I'm going. I'm not just applying one straight line to my nose, because your nose contour, you want to make sure it doesn't look too harsh. This is how I do my skin or my foundation routine, so to say. Now I'm going to go off camera to do my brows. I'll do my eyeshadow, and then I'll come back to show you guys how I finish, like how I dust off all this setting powder from my face, and, you know, how I just finish off my face with blush, highlighter, and all of that. So yeah, I'll just go off camera and do that, and I'll be right back. All right guys, so now I am done with my eyeshadow and my lashes and my brows. I'm done with everything, so we're going to move on to finish up my skin work now. I'm just going to dust off the excess powder on my face. I'm just getting that powder that's my skin shade, and I'm mixing it with a bit of the lighter powder, and that's what I'm going to use to dust off the powder from my under eye, the setting powder I applied earlier. So yeah, basically just dusting off the excess powder from your face. You guys should let me know if you'd like to see other tutorials from me. My next tutorial video would be a video on how to fix lashes. You guys, do you know that my lashes are very curly, and it took me the longest of time to learn how to fix lashes on myself. Like, it's so easy to fix lashes on others, but when it gets to you fixing lashes on yourself, it's another something entirely. So like, it took me a while to actually get a hold on how to fix lashes on myself. So that's something I'm willing to share. That's going to be my next tutorial video. If you'd like to see a tutorial on how I do my brows and, you know, just anything, just let me know in the comment section. If you'd like to see a tutorial on how I do lipstick, whatever it is, let me know in the comment section, and I'll be sure to film a video on that. So right now I'm going to move on to apply blush. So for blush, I usually use this blush palette. Now for blush, you don't need to necessarily go and buy a blush palette or buy blush. You can always use your eyeshadow palette. A pink, a soft matte pink eyeshadow would do as blush. So I'm literally just going to dab onto my blush pan, the one I want to use, just very lightly, and I'm dusting it off. And then the sun is coming out. You guys, you already know that the sun is always out in my videos. So I'm just going to apply, I'll smile and then apply this blush to the areas where I want to see it, just very lightly, and then I'm blending it out. Now the next thing to apply is highlighter. That's what you may call bronzer. It's actually called highlighter. So I'm going to be showing you guys how I do that. I'm just going to be taking a bit of that. You can see that I've used this highlighter a lot. I'm just taking my brush onto it. When you're applying the highlighter, you smile, and then the areas of your face where the light is hitting, when you smile and you look into your mirror, you see some areas where the light hits, and that's where you want to apply your highlighter. You don't need to apply your highlighter all over your cheeks, no. And you don't apply your highlighter as one line, no. You blend it out little by little, and then you go ahead to just apply your highlighter, and then you take it to your forehead as well. You can see that. So it just makes it look very soft and natural when you apply your highlighter to your natural highlight points. I'm using a fluffy brush for this purpose, so that just helps with the blending. So the sun has gone down now, thank God. So I'm just going to use that to blend everything all out. So you guys can see how dewy my face is looking, and my skin work is looking very well blended. Okay guys, so I have my Ezekiel Cosmetics setting spray here, and this is what I'll be using today. So I'm just going to spray that onto my face. I'm going to cover my eyes because I don't want it to mess up my beautiful eyeshadow that I already did. So I'm just going to cover my eyes and then spray my whole face. Now that that is done, you just leave it to dry for a bit, and your skin work is pretty much done. I'm going to go ahead now and do my lipstick, and I'll come back to end this video, but this is how I do my skin work, and my makeup lasts for a long while. As you can see, this application is just beautiful. I love it. This is how I apply makeup all the time, and it stays blended and it's just a seamless blend. So you just want to take your time to blend just to ensure that your makeup is like seamless. So I'm going to go ahead and do my lips now, and I'll come back to end this video. All right guys, so I am done with the lips, and I love how my skin work is looking. So I'm just going to move on now to fix up my hair, and I would come back to finally end this video. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry about my lighting, it's going up and down. As you know, the sun is up. How's your year going? How has your few days into the year been? I know that there is a tendency for us to feel scared or like have fear of, oh, what's going to happen this year? And so we just feel like, how am I going to actualize my plans? How am I going to do so and so? Like, what do I do? How do I do it? So I just want to remind you that God has not given us a spirit of fear. The Bible says that He has not given us a spirit of fear, but He has given us a spirit of power and of love and of a sound mind. So fear has no place in you as a believer. And the Bible says, trust in the Lord and lean not on your own understanding. Acknowledge Him in all your ways, and He shall direct your path. So this is something that we should have in mind. Trusting God is so powerful. Like, there is so much power in trusting God, and many times we just underrate it because we feel like we want to make plans out of our own wisdom. But I just want to let you know that as much as you've made plans, as much as you have lots of resolutions, you have lots of new goals that you want to achieve, just also remember that you should just trust God. God loves us. He's a good father. He's mindful of you, and He wants the best for you. So if you trust Him, He's going to direct your path and He's going to lead you through. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in my next one. I love you guys. Bye.